Hello on this Monday and happy August. You know, the air quality has been pretty good yesterday and actually today still too, even though there's haze aloft again. But the smoke was mainly confined to the west yesterday. This is a satellite image from midday yesterday, and that helped our air quality really improve. And most of the smoke is still to the west today. We've got some fair weather cumulus clouds filling in, but otherwise the real rough smoke that's creating air quality issues is off to the west. So once again today, air quality good, particles at 25, that's where you want it to be healthy. And this is some of the best air quality we've seen in several days since early last week when we look at yesterday and today. Now, it probably will diminish a bit overnight tonight. There's that peak Friday into Saturday, some really rough air here where we got almost close to the 200 mark. So almost 10 times the stuff in the air compared to where you want it to be healthy. And as I mentioned, to the west, across mainly the Dakotas, but also western Minnesota, we do still have some air quality issues today. And the winds are such that late today into tonight, we could see some of that work its way in here. The smoke that we're seeing today is mainly aloft, but you look at Fargo, yeah, some pretty poor air quality there in the about 170 to 180 range, when again, you want it at 30 or less. So some air quality issues still there. And as I mentioned, this is 2 a.m. tonight. Some of that smoke, you can see that purplish color moves its way in here, but then we start to see south winds kick in tomorrow, and it's gonna stay that way right through the week into probably early next week. A hotter pattern setting up, but that south wind is also going to keep most of that smoke, at least in the low levels of the atmosphere to the north. And that's what creates the air quality issues. We'll still have that whitish sky like we already have again today. That's smoke aloft from fires to the north and west, but at least we won't have it here towards the surface where it creates those air quality issues. And there's a lot of smoke across the whole northern hemisphere. Big plumes of smoke coming out of Russia and Siberia, a lot of fires there, and of course the whole western US. A lot of fires there, and fire season, really, this is just the beginning of the western wildfire season. I think it's hard for people here to grasp that because typically when we see fires, it's only in the summer months, but it's late summer into the fall, into the west until they get some of that moisture that can come in around the winter. I talked a little bit about this last week, but we ended July with only 87 hundredths of an inch of water, less than Death Valley, which had 92 hundredths of an inch in July. Now, to be fair, it's monsoon season, and they saw almost half their annual rainfall just in the month of July in Death Valley, but still pretty crazy. 1.7 degrees above normal. July wasn't as hot, anywhere near as hot compared to normal as June. In fact, June was so hot that it was actually hotter than July this year, and that's only ever happened 8 other times. Summer to date, though, when you factor in that June 5 degrees above normal, second hottest summer so far. Yes, we're beating 2012 and 1988. Now, 1988 was hot in July and August, so if August isn't really hot, 1988 may overtake us, but this is looking back at Julys of those other years. 2012 was a hot one. You can see that was hotter than 1988 or this year's July. Most of the heat this month of July was to the west, and then we were really on the edge of it, so that's why we ended up just a couple degrees above average. And this is the European model's forecast. It was pretty good. It had the cool temperatures in the south, and then that pattern from basically Minnesota west above normal. And this is what the European model is forecasting for August, a very similar pattern to July. The south gets a bit of a break from the wet and cool temperatures, but mainly the heat from, again, Minnesota to the west. And that's why the Climate Prediction Center's official forecast pretty much matches up with that. Very strong chances of above normal temperatures. And if we're only even just a couple degrees above average, like we were for the month of July, we're easily in the top 5 for total when you look at the summers on record of 148 years. So it won't take much because June was just so ridiculously hot. And it looks like that heat is going to be building back at least early next week, if not already by the end of this week. We're going to be sharing the heat with the East Coast, though, rather than the West Coast this go around. So enjoy these fairly seasonable temperatures yet today. Low to mid 80s tomorrow, starting to heat up next couple of days, upper 80s, probably just shy of 90 and not real humid, of course, yet, but by the weekend and next week, that's when we could be pushing near 90 degrees again. And if you're looking for rain, yeah, sorry, pretty hit and miss chances, maybe by Thursday and then Saturday, maybe a chance on Friday. But again, those chances, not real great here late in the week.